What's going on, everybody? Oh my goodness. It's hashtag chillin once again. It's quiet, quiet. Um, oh man, I don't even know what time it is right now, but it's getting ready for sunset. My best friend and his wife and daughter had to go out of town for a couple of days, and after we hung out for the last 24, yeah, about 24 hours or so it's been since I got here. And so everything went smooth here on the drive to Texas. Whew, man, not even a whole lot, or the good Lord, He showed me a lot of things over the last couple of days. I can't even, yeah, it's, I just took a nap today. I slept in a little bit this morning, but there were things that had to be done. Had to return the rental van and make some phone calls and do that kind of stuff. And I wanted to get that all out of the way. And this afternoon, they were getting ready to, they started cooking dinner, crock pot dinner. And so once that was in the pot, people just kind of disappeared to go take naps before their journey this evening. And the house was pretty quiet. And I went upstairs to where I'm sleeping. And I just laid down in this quietest I've ever heard for 2 straight years. It was, I just laid down on this bed and it was so quiet that I could hear the ringing in my ears, and it was like head pounding. The amount, the noise, the level of the ringing in my ears was so intense. It's something that you won't notice until you go to a quiet place and just like meditate, lay down, just immerse yourself in silence. And this is something I've noticed for years. If I had a bad day or a crazy, what's the word? A crazy, just a crazy stressful week. Maybe it was a few days of doing all kinds of random things and just loud, being around loud things and stressful things, and just like maybe it was just a stressful week at work or whatever. You get into a quiet place, just turn everything off and lay down in silence and just try to relax your body. And the tension in your body is directly related to the ringing in your ears. And I would notice that as I could relax parts of my body that were tense, the ringing in the ears would subside and drop and continue to drop as the body relaxes, and as the ringing in the ears, it's the way I can explain it is try to concentrate on hearing silence. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk about this more because it's something I was taught when I was young, and but you lay down on your back on the floor. It works really good if you do it on the floor in a quiet place, and just focus on the ringing in your ears, but really not dwell on that, but trying to focus on the noise outside of that. Like if you're in a quiet room, try to focus on like what can you hear, like because there's always going to be some background noise. There's always going to be something going on in the house. It could be just a fan or a heating system, or some noise coming from a refrigerator or whatever. There's always going to be some sort of background noise. And so I would concentrate on focusing on, there might be noise coming from outside that you're not paying attention to, but just try to like calm that ringing of the ears. And every now and as I'm listening, or as the ringing in the ears subsides, I would notice muscles would just like kind of spasm out and just relax in my body. And that's the best way I can put it, just going off the cuff with this. But I laid down in that room upstairs on the bed thinking, oh, I'm just going to take a couple minutes to lay down and just relax. And the ringing of the ears was just, wow, like really, oh man. And more because I haven't been in a quiet place in over 2 years where I could just, my body just, it was like something just inside said, go up and lay down right now. And like this wave of fatigue hit me. And I was out cold. And I woke up in time. I woke up because I don't know, I just somehow I woke up in a couple of hours, but reluctantly. I could have easily slept the whole night away. I could have easily slept, but I wanted to say goodbye. I wanted to make sure I, hung out with my friend and his wife and the kid before they left to go on their trip. And plus they made, we had a really good dinner. And but now I'm just chilling, like chilling. But I already know I'm gonna sleep. It's gonna be a whole nother level of sleep tonight that I haven't had in over 2 years, no doubt. The night I was arrested, part of the reason why I had no idea there was anything going on outside of my house is because the bedroom at my old house was light proof and soundproof. Like pure pitch black. Can't see your hand in front of your face even in the middle of the day. Dark. And that actually used to help me sleep really well. I really never got better sleep than I had when I was at that house. But the drawback is when the FBI shows up to your house and starts smashing your house apart with a tank. It's not until the tank is inside your house that you're going to hear anything is going on out there. And that's a story for another day. But the relaxation and just the de-stressing of all of this toxic stuff I felt for the last couple of years just came hitting me hard like a brick today. And I already feel like I'm going to be up for a while just relaxing. I'm going to catch up on some Star Wars that I missed over the last couple of years. And I don't know, just chill and unwind. But let's see, what's next? Oh, one of the things that I can talk about on this trip, though, is that just God was it was just apparent that God was guiding every part of my journey, from going up to pick up the rental car. I think I'll get into a few details about it. When I went to pick up the rental car, I had all these worries about, I was using a debit card instead of a credit card. And their websites all say so there's a lot of people who have left comments about this. And I'm going to clarify this because a lot of people were leaving comments that, well, you can't rent a car without a real credit card. You can't use a debit card and all this other stuff. And they're going to want 20 different things from you for identification and all this and that. And look, I was prepared for, I don't have any utility bills. I don't have anything like that in my name right now because I don't have a home. I mean, I'm staying at my friend's house, but in the homeless shelter and whatnot. But I had a bank statement. I had some other things with my address on it. I had check stubs from the job that I'm working on. And so I had a few things that I could use if they were to go down that route. But number one, all the car rental companies take debit cards, and they have since I was in my early 20s, because I've had to rent cars here and there, not often, but I was using a debit card to rent a car back when I was like 22 years old. And so that's a myth, for sure. All the car rental company websites say they accept major credit cards and debit cards as long as it's Visa, MasterCard. Some of them will say, well, we don't take American Express or Discover or whatever, but the Visa and MasterCard are pretty much the only debit cards. I don't think the other out of the big four credit card processing companies, I don't think there are any debit cards that have Discover or American Express as the card brand. But they take them. They don't care. They want your money. In some cases, they might put an extra authorization on your card that's above and beyond what they would put for a credit card. They might charge you, they might put but honestly, when I was paying attention to what other people were doing ahead of me in line, and everybody was getting a $300 authorization on their card above and beyond the car rental price. And mostly that is just to cover, to make sure that you have enough to pay for an extra day or two if you're out longer than you claim you're going to be out with the car. And so when I went to pick up the car, there was absolutely no problem. I was in and out the door in less than 10 minutes with the keys in hand. They took my driver's license, they took the debit card, I made the payment right there, handed me the keys. We walked around the vehicle so that they could show me, there were dings and dents on the vehicle. So we walked around the vehicle and documented all of that, together, so that, I wasn't going to get charged for that. And that's a normal thing that they do. It was Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Everything, like I said, it was smooth. Everything went perfectly smooth. One interesting thing is that the guy who I'm doing this work for was the one that drove me up there. And synchronicity, talking about God. So I booked this rental car, and I did all the research on my own and chose the pickup location completely on my own. And it was based on the pickup location having vastly different pricing from one to the next. Two of the pickup locations were 10 miles apart up in Buffalo, and the price difference to rent the vehicle was double. It would cost me twice as much to pick up the vehicle at one place, or half the price to pick it up at the other place, and these two places were 10 miles apart. And so I don't understand how that and why it's like that at all, because it's the same rental car company. They should have more consistent pricing. But and their website doesn't give you any indication of that, in terms of that there will be a price difference from one location to the next. I had to do the research on that. So I chose the pickup location based on the price. Well, the guy who was giving me the ride up there, his mother had an eye doctor's appointment in the same neighborhood of Buffalo. And so he said, this works out perfect, because when we leave the restaurant to go up to Buffalo to get your car, I'll pick up my mom, and her eye doctor's appointment is right around the same time you're picking up the car. Turns out the eye doctor that he had to take his mom to see, the office of the eye doctor was a quarter mile away from the place that I picked up the rental car. And so, he had to go there anyway. And so for him to take me up to pick up this car was absolutely no hassle, or it was like he had to make the exact same trip anyway, and I just happened to book this car rental at the same spot that he already had to take his mother to. I mean, what is the probability of that alone? Okay. And let's see, the second I don't want to call it synchronicity, but it was weird. It was it's like an hour and a half drive from Jamestown to Buffalo. And so this guy being a business owner in Jamestown, he knows everybody in town. And, everywhere we go, hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody knows everybody, and it's a small town. So now we're an hour and a half away from Buffalo. And when we walk into the car rental place, everybody was like, "Hey, so and so." I'm not gonna say his name, but hey, how you doing? Long time no see. And everybody at the car rental place knew this guy. Everybody there knew him. So we're all hanging out and talking. And then another synchronistic thing. A guy, we're all talking about how I'm moving to Houston and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like shaking hands and meeting all these people. And everybody knows everybody by name, even though we're an hour and a half away from Jamestown. Another guy overhears them talking to me about moving to Houston. And he says, "Oh, you're going to want to check out this specific neighborhood." And it's called, and he told me the name, and I said, "Yeah, that's where I'm going." He called out the neighborhood where I'm sitting right now. And he's like, "Oh, you're going to love it there. It's the coolest neighborhood in all of Houston, and this and that and the other thing." And he's like, "It's really awesome there. You're going to love it." And the guy behind the counter was looking at my paperwork, and it says, "Yeah, says it right here. He's dropping off the car right in that same neighborhood." And so that was ironic. So next thing, I get into the van, and I told you the synchronicity of the last few weeks is just off the chain, and I'm not going to be able to cover all of it, but there was this thing going on. And it's going to take me, this is another thing that I don't want to make this video an hour long. I really don't, because I want to get to my chillin'. But I pulled out. So there was this, ever since how do I put this? There was this weird thing going on where every time I would turn around, you know how when you own a vehicle, and then you notice all the other vehicles that are the same vehicle in your neighborhood or as you're driving around. I owned a Jeep Wrangler, so everywhere I went, obviously, the Jeep Wranglers, every time I see one, they stand out, and I notice them. And it could be a less conspicuous vehicle. Like, there was a time I owned, well, I don't know. I always own vehicles that stand out, but I'm trying to think. I had a Jeep Liberty, so you notice all the Jeep Liberties that you never noticed before. Let's see, just a vehicle like that. We had a Kia something or other, just a regular looking car, at one point in time. And everywhere I went, you would notice, anybody driving the same car, even though it was like a pretty standard looking car. Well, there was this thing going on, and it was okay, let me put it this way. Every time I was walking the streets of Jamestown, there was a time this would happen 20 to 30 times in the span of a half hour, okay? I would see the exact same car that my ex drove. Very, not a popular, the car brand is very popular in Jamestown, in that area, and I think that the brand of car is popular because of the weather that they have up there. They're good winter driving cars because they have all-wheel drive, etc. But this particular car is a very unique, it's not something that everybody drives. And there would be times I'd be walking down the street and see the exact same car 5-6 times in a row on a short walk. Or I would see a car that at first looks like that, same color, same style, but like a different make, a different brand of car. But it was ridiculous the number of times I was seeing the same car over, way, way, way beyond coincidental. And it was just driving me nuts, because the only time I would see the same car over and over and over again, to the level that it was happening every day there, it was when the I lived in a neighborhood where there was a big nationally known annual Jeep festival. And when the Jeep festival is going on, everywhere you go, there's just Jeep, 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 Jeep. Every time you turn around, I'm waving to everybody, because that's a thing. When you drive a Jeep, everybody waves as you're driving down the road. You see another Jeep, you wave to the person. We wave to each other. All kinds of cool things go with owning a Jeep like that. And so the Jeep festival would come to town, and for, a week, you would see nothing but Jeeps all over town. And this is what it was like in Jamestown, seeing this freaking car over and over again. And there's more to that story. There's way more to that story, but it's not relevant to what I'm talking about today. Well, the point of the story is when I pulled out of the car rental place, as I was pulling out of the driveway, directly across the street from where I pulled out of the driveway, the exact same car that my ex drove pulled out of the adjacent parking lot on the opposite side of the street, right in front of me at the same time I'm pulling out of the parking lot of the rental car place. And then, I kid you not, I go around the corner. I'm not even 3 miles into the drive. I'm waiting at a T intersection, waiting to make a left-hand turn to continue on my route. And another one, the exact same model and car and color that the X drove, went by me again. And I'm just like, what is going on with this freaking car sighting? Sometimes 20 times a day, more or more. It's just ridiculous. And this is not that popular of a car. It's like the Jeep festival came to town, and every time I turn around, there's another Jeep. But it's her car. And so I came to the conclusion that I think I know what was going on with that. And that's a video for another day. But that was a strange coincidence. And then there was some things that, because of the timing of everything, I got a day head start on my journey. And things just kind of fell into place a certain way that I got to spend my son's birthday with him. It was not planned. It was just nothing. None of that wasn't planned at all. It just happened to be the date that fell into place that I could go get a rental car and get started on my journey. And it just happened to be his birthday. And there were some other things. There's a lot of synchronicity along the drive. The hurricane, the tropical storm that was headed directly to my location where I planned on camping. My friend is sending me text messages all day Wednesday saying, stay away, don't camp there, don't camp there. And I'm like, God will take care of me. I just kind of roll. I was like, yeah, thanks for the info. That's all, thank you. Appreciate the information, especially because I'm not paying attention to the world while I'm driving. But I took very few breaks driving. I did a 13-hour drive and a 10-hour drive, stopping. The total number of stops I made during the day for everything, grabbing a snack, grabbing drinks, coffee drinks, especially on the second, especially yesterday, I had to drink a lot of coffee because I was drifting. My eyes were just like, I was doing some of these on the road and had to stop and get coffee more than once just to counteract it and just eyes on the prize. So gas, coffee, snacks. I stopped for less than an hour each day of the long haul drives. 13 hours one day, 10 hours the next, and just plowed it through. I just wanted to get there. But I looked on a hurricane or the storm tracker map, and the line, it literally was going directly over where I was going to be camping. And so I'm thinking, I had to think about that for a minute, and it turned out there was nothing to worry about there. I get to the campsite, there's a stack of firewood sitting there for me, and everything was just ready to go. I pulled in and out. You know, I set up the quickest camp I've ever set up. A single hammock, a chair, a hammock and a chair. That was my camp for the night, and a bottle of water and some snacks, and just sat by a ready-made fire until I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. And it didn't take long to happen, but it was nice to just be out in nature and sleep in nature like that. So the next day I get to Houston. Everything's cool. But last night I decided it's a long story. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but I need to spend $300 on something. And even money's extremely tight right now. And I remember saying in the car when I said I was going to do this, I need to shell out $300 for something important. And even though money is extremely tight, I said to God, God, I trust you. I know you want me to do this thing. It's important. It needs to be done. It's going to cost $300 and money's tight, and I don't want to spend money unnecessarily right now because I don't know when the next check is coming in. And, everything's up in the air, and, I just don't want to do something frivolous. And this isn't frivolous. It's something that has to be done. So, and I could try, and I said to God, I flat out said to God, I said, you know what, God, I trust you. I know I've been already shown that I need to trust you on this trip, but I am going to trust that I'm going to trust that if I pull out this $300 for this thing that I need to do, that you're going to put the money right back in the bank account. And I don't know how, but I know you'll do it. You've been showing me this for the last several months. I'm going to pull this $300 out and you're going to put the money back in. And I just said that. I said that multiple times because I'd be thinking about this and I'm like, man, I got to do this. $300, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, I said to God, I know you'll put the money back in my account today, not even 24 hours after I'm thinking this and saying that out loud as I'm driving. I go and return the rental car to the Enterprise place where we had to drop it off. And they turn around and they hand me a receipt that says you're getting an extra $211 back above and beyond. So there's a $300 deposit on the vehicle, but they're giving me another $211 back to my card. And even they thought it was a mistake, and they're looking at it and they're just like going into their computer and they're like, no, this can't be right. No, this can't be right. And they're trying to like undo it. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And they really couldn't even explain why it's happening. But they're like, well, okay, looks like you're getting an extra $211 back. Have a good day, guy. And so I get home, and as I'm like looking, or home, yeah, is it home? Yeah, I'm going to call it home. I get back to the crib, and I was looking at my bank account and just trying to, organize my money and make sure that everything is in place and know how, because, you go on a trip like this and you're getting a snack, you're getting gas, you're getting different things, and it's fast and furious, and I want to make sure that, I want to know how much money I have. And so, sure enough, the deposit is in my bank account already as a pending transaction. And it's going to be, it might be tomorrow, it might be the next day before it shows up as available funds, but it's there. The record of the reversal is there on the bank statement already. And it was with the extra $211. So, okay. So then I log into another thing, and I'm not going to get into the details, but another $91 shows up out of nowhere. $91 plus the $211 literally came to me unexpectedly, without any kind of warning, without any kind of I had no idea that either of these things were happening, and boom, there's the $301 that you're $302 that you need for the thing that you got to do. Just like I said, I'm like, I made up my mind. This money needs to be spent. I need to do this thing. And God will replace the money in my bank account. But I didn't think he was going to do it in under 24 hours. I just thought, I'll do this thing. I'll pay this bill. And it needs to be done. There's no question about it. And God's going to put the money back in my account because he knows that I need to do this. And he knows that, there's other things that need to be taken care of. And so, boom, boom. These two things happened within an hour of each other, less than 24 hours after I came to that conclusion. It was yesterday morning, or no, it was during the drive that I decided I had to do this. I had to spend the $300. And so, yeah, and then all of a sudden, I'm not even here in Texas for 24 hours, and God's like, oh, here's that $300 I need to put in your account. Now you can go do. He put the money in my account before I'm doing the thing that I need to spend the money on. Like, I didn't even have to do the thing and then wait for the money to come. He's like, no, I'll give you the money first, then you can go do the thing. So it's like a no-brainer. I have to do the thing, and I have no problem with it. Like, I know that it needs to be done. And so it was just it was mind-blowing, like that alone. And there's more synchronicity and more stuff going on that, man, I couldn't even. I'm just going off the cuff on my first day of having a roof over my head, and it's quite the roof. It's a pretty tall ceiling in here. So, and I get to stay up past curfew. I can do what I want. And so yeah, it's just a nice, relaxing feeling to have gone through this experience unscathed. Not only unscathed, but just being guided along the way. I think I skipped over the campsite a little bit, going to the money coming into my bank account, even before I spent it, because I was worried about spending it. But then the tropical storm was in a direct line to the campsite where I was staying. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to drive straight through. I'm not doing a hotel. I don't want to spend the money. I'm like, I'm going to camp for $7 at this campground in the national forest. And it was perfect. The weather was nice. No wind. The sky wasn't crystal clear, but it was clear. I could see the moon. I could see the stars through the clouds. I mean, it did not look like it was going to rain. It did not have that feeling. I did check the weather reports when I had an internet connection, and I even had a little bit of an internet connection at the campsite. And all the reports said that the storm was going to hit the coast in the morning and work its way up through Mississippi throughout the day. But I woke up the next morning at that campsite, and the sky was not 100% clear, but it was clear enough that there was a sunrise as I was leaving the campground, which it took me 4 minutes to pack down my campsite, my hammock and my sleeping bag and my chair, and put that away. And I sat down in the chair, did a quick video with you guys, and got out of there. And it was, I was watching the sunrise. So the weather was perfect. And all the way, I had to kind of swing upward a little bit north. I had to go back into Tennessee and go through Memphis and cross into Arkansas on the other side of the bridge in Memphis, because of the interstates This was the fastest way for me to go, but it also helped me out. I basically got to ride on the outskirts of the tropical storm, and it did start to rain at some point, but ironically, synchronistically, once again, it started to rain at some point as I was approaching Texarkana, as I was going through Arkansas. And from the time I crossed into Texas all the way almost to my friend's place, it was raining off and on, just standard rain, nothing crazy, but still annoying, especially, when you're trying to drive and you can't see too far in front of you and you're already tired. And, it was kind of a downer, but, it wasn't like anything to worry about in terms of safety or anything like that. It wasn't anything at all. It was just rain. But I get into Texas, or I get down towards Houston, and it's still raining. And in fact, it's still raining when I'm just around, I'm getting really close to my friend's house. And I would say I was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes away when it stopped raining. And when I finally got to his house, the sun was out. And so everything had cleared pretty much as soon as I got here. And the weather's been really nice ever since ever since. Today was a beautiful, nice, sunny, warm, not ridiculously hot day. And so once again, everything just kind of working itself out. And, but no, it was a really good trip. And it's just a lot of, I've still got things I got to cross off my list now that I'm here before, the things I was talking about in other videos that need to be completely crossed off the list before I finally stop worrying about things. But the way everything went and this whole situation with the magical $300 that appeared just because I believed it would, and the way that it happened was just two completely unexpected occurrences. Boom and boom. Here you go. Here's the money you need. And so, yeah, all of that. And so, yeah, God's going to provide. And so the things that I'm worried about for the upcoming few days, next week, whatever the case may be, I know that it's nothing, there's nothing to worry about. He's going to be there. I just see it. This was the right move. This was the right thing to do. There's probably going to be more things happening over the next several months that will cement and firm up my belief that this was the right decision to make to come down here. I just have this feeling like there's some reason that I'm here that's even above and beyond getting out of the homeless situation. And I've absolutely no idea what it is or why I even feel like that, but there's just something that tells me I had to come here for something. And what it is will make sense down the road. I just don't even have to, I don't have to sit here and speculate about it right now. My job is to just focus on getting organized, getting set up, and getting traction. And so with that, I'm not plugging anything. I don't got time. I don't got energy for any plugs or anything like that right now. I'm just kicking it. I'm chilling like a villain. I'm about to catch up on some Star Wars that I missed over the last couple of years. There's a lot of new stuff to watch, and it's all queued up and ready to go. I'm going to be doing that and having a little snack, I guess, in a few minutes. And it's time to chill. So I hope I'll see you. I'm thinking I'm going to do these videos every day. I'll definitely do a video tomorrow. I don't know, or when I wake up. Tonight might be the day I go to sleep and wake up and it's Monday morning. Here it is. It's, I think today's Friday. No, it's Thursday. Today's Thursday. Today's Thursday. I feel like I could go to sleep right now and wake up and it's Monday. So, but if I do wake up tomorrow, I'll do a video. and we'll hang out, and we'll go from there. Thanks for the comments, the well wishes, the prayers. Phew, man, all of it. We got a lot. I got a lot to talk about and a lot of stuff to do. Y'all wanted to hear the story, the whole story of what happened, and I said that I would give you that. And now I have the paper, all the paperwork that I needed to have to be. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of material I can go over now that I have this desk that's full of files and papers in the drawers. All the papers that I was wanting to reference before I talk to people about this stuff is there. And so I have some setup and organization. I just got to go through all the stuff that I brought with me and clean and organize and take care of some things that are need to be taken care of. And I'm going to leave it at that. And so tomorrow, pending, as long as I wake up tomorrow, I will spend a minute tomorrow, and we'll have another one of these chats. Peace out.